Before starting my work on Mahabarath, I never knew that so much would come out of Mahabarath research. Mahabharata retains Tamil's history, culture, spirituality as it was 5000 years ago. Though the Jewish Brahmins looted Tamil's epic and made it as their own, they planted milestones in their narration so that the truth shall be extracted by the skilled individuals. They might have kept such milestones to educate their own select people, the secret society of Jewish Brahmins, regarding the real history of Tamils and what they did to it. It is such milestones that is enabling the recovery process that I am undertaking now. We have seen in my previous video that Aswatthama was one such important milestone which greatly helped in our recovery process. Dronachari was one of the key characters of Mahabharata and we have discussed it in my previous video. Now I would discuss his friendly enemy Durubadhan. Durubadhan was the king of Panchala Desam. Dronachari and Durubadhan were said to have studied together in the Gurukulam in their youth times. I would not describe how they became enemies as would be beyond the scope of this video. But Durubadhan's team was a destroyer team. He did yagna and through it he had a son and daughter who came out of fire as full grown-ups. The son was Drishtadyumna who was created to kill Dronachari. The daughter was Draupadi who was to destroy Duryodhana. He had a normal daughter, Sikandi, born to kill Bhishma. As he begot these siblings only to kill people, he was named Durubadhan. Dur plus Vadan, Duruvadhan, Durubadhan. Dur means bad. Vadan means one who performs Vadam, that is killing actions. That is how he was named. But Durubadhan is an imaginary character who did not exist in reality. As Tamil Mahabharata was existing as an irrefutable proof, brandizing ancient Tamil history and culture, the Sanskrit Mahabharata was created with the sole purpose of destroying Tamil's history. Hence, like many other characters, Durubadhan is the creation of the Jewish Brahmins with the twin aim of destroying original history and to make the original Mahabharata, said to have contained just 10,000 verses, into mega epic with 100,000 verses. Durubadhan is said to be the king of Panchala Desam. But in reality, Panchala Desam belonged to the Pandavas, and Panchali is after all the agricultural land which belonged to the 5 Pandavas. Panchala Desam got its name due to Panchali, and the name Panchali originated out of the 5 Pandavas. As the Brahmins fabricated that Pandavas were the cousins of Kauravas, destroying the original history, they had to create a fictional character to lead the Panchala Desam. As Panchala Desam was against the Kauravas, Durubadhan had to assume that opposing role, and hence he was characterized as enemy of Kauravas. Hence, Durubadhan is a fictional character. Sikandi is said to be the normal begotten daughter of Durubadhan. She was born to kill Bhishma as he was responsible for destroying her life in her previous birth. She got a boon from Shiva in her previous birth that Bhishma's death would be through her in her next birth. She had to be reborn as a male but was born again as a female as she did not complete her destined tenure in her previous life and ended her life voluntarily by committing suicide. Her motive was to kill Bhishma, but great warriors like Bhishma won't fight with a female. Hence, she felt disgusted for being born as a female. As she felt disgusted for being born as a female, she got her character name accordingly. Chi plus Kundi, Chikundi, Chikandi, Sihandi. Chi means an expression of disapproval. Kundi means womb of woman. Sihandi is also a fictional character. In fact, Bhishma was also a fictional character, and I would discuss that in a separate video. Chikandi was born of a fictional character called Durubadhan and hence a fictional character that way too. Her previous birth of Amba as Kasi princess was also a fictional character. We had already discussed about Draupadi in previous videos. Draupadi represented the farming land created by burning the forest. As she was born of fire in reality, the Brahmins created the story that she came out of Yagna fire conducted by Durubadhan. Archuna was an expert in burning forest. That was how he happened to kill the wife of Dakshagan, who was herding her goats in the forest. She was caught up in the unexpected fire in the forest that Archuna created to destroy it. As the goat herders belonged to the Nagar race, the Jewish Brahmins knowingly fabricated that they belonged to the snake race. A laughable nonsense. As Archuna owned farming land out of burning the forest, the farming land became his belonging, which he shared with his 4 other companions. Draupadi was actually that agricultural land and not a woman, and this name originated as the name of the goddess who represented farming lands. Tarai plus Padi, Taraipadi, Trapadi, Draupadi. According to Sanskrit Mahabarath, Arjuna won Draupadi in Swayamvara through his skill in archery. In reality also, Arjuna won the farming land out of archery only, which I would discuss shortly in this video. Before Draupadi came out of Durubhadan's Yagna fire, Drishtadyumna came out of Yagna fire first, and he was born to kill Dronachari. Draupadi, who came out of Yagna fire, represented farming land salvaged out of forest by burning it, and hence not a human being. Like Draupadi, Drishtadyumna, who also came from fire as full grown, can't be a human being. At the same time, Drishtadyumna should be able to kill Drona, something that kills Drona, but it is not a human being, and it should have come out of fire. What else can it be? It's a sword. Sword comes out of the fire of the blacksmith. Can he substantiate this surmise? Yes. I would prove that his name Drishtadyumna just means it too. Drishtadyumna is a title name created by the Brahmins to retain this information. We would divide the word Drishtadyumna into 2 syllables. They are Drishta and Dyumna. We would derive the name Drishta first. Ti means fire in Tamil. Urutti means roll or rotate. The blacksmith rolls iron in fire and then beats it while rotating to forge iron objects, and sword is one among them. Ti plus Urutti, Tirutti, Tirutti, Trishti, Tristi, Drishti. Thus, forging an object in blacksmith's workshop is called Drishti. This word originated from the simple idea of rotating a fiery object, and in the case of forging, it means beating a rotating fiery object. The fact that this word actually originated this way shall be understood by the customary practice of doing drishti on a person affected by evil eye. In that practice, we circle a fire over the person a few times, and that process is called drishti. Thus, our derivation of the word drishti is speckless, and it correctly means forging an object in blacksmith's foundry. Having tackled drishti, we would now tackle dyumna. Man means soil in Tamil. Though it means soil, it contextually means here as ore. Ore is a specific raw material taken out of the soil. We extract iron metal from its ore through a process called purification. Burning the ore in the fire of charcoal is the extraction process of iron. Fire is called a purifier generically. Hence, it actually purifies the ore, which is a compound of iron and oxygen, by removing the oxygen. The heat and the carbon atoms of the burning charcoal removes oxygen from the ore and liberates as carbon dioxide, leaving iron in its elemental state. Hence, iron shall be called as purified ore. Tuimai means purity, and adjective tuya means pure in Tamil, and man contextually means here as ore. Hence, the word tuyaman contextually means purified ore, which is iron. Tuyaman deforms as duyaman and ultimately dyumna. Hence, the compound word becomes drishtadyumna, which means created out of fire using iron. Hence, drishtadyumna is actually a sword, and its name also proves the same. The Jewish Brahmins made even a sword a character in the expanded Sanskrit Mahabarath. They should have had a whale of a time giggling and rejoicing while concocting the fictional stories of Mahabharata. Hence, Durubhadan and Sihandi were fictional characters not related to anything physical. Drishtadyumna is a sword and Draupadi is the agricultural land, both originated out of fire in reality, and that's why they were depicted to have come out of Yagna fire. We shall now take up Archunan. As Archunan was an expert in archery, he got his title name out of archery. Archery is an English word of Tamil origin and we would now see as to how this word originated. Circle is called Aram in Tamil. The bow is actually part of the circle called Aram as shown in the animation. In Tamil, R means a point. As a circle is drawn from the center point called R using a string or rope which form the radius of the circle, the radius, circle and even a part of a circle are all called Aram in Tamil, which originated from the center point called R. Thus, a part of the circle is also called Aram, which is called arc in English. The two ends of the arc are tightly connected by a string of high tensile strength. The result is the bow. The shaft going through the center of the circle or wheel is called Achu in Tamil, which means axis. As a bow is also called Aram in Tamil as stated above, and as we place the arrow in the middle of the bow called Aram, the arrow was figuratively equated to Achu. Hence, bow and arrow was called in Tamil as Aram plus Achu, Arachu. Hence, the very ancient word for bow and arrow in Tamil was Arachu. It is this word Arachu which gave rise to the English word archery. Arachu plus Eri, Aracheri, archery. Here, Arachu means bow and arrow and Eri means shoot or throw in Tamil. Hence, archery means shooting arrow using the bow, which is its exact definition. A circle is drawn around a sharp point called R, from which circle got its name Aram. It is interesting to know how R meant a sharp point in Tamil. We normally put a point using a black mark. Al means black in Tamil. Tamils were already making sharp iron weapons. Iron was called Irumbu in Tamil, which is a black metal. In those days, the sharpest weapons were made using iron only. As sharp weapons were made of iron called Irumbu, the Tamil word Irumbu itself figuratively meant sharp. Hence, a sharp black point was called Al plus Irumbu, Al plus Ir, R. We can prove that this derivation is correct by considering the word Arumbu, which means a bird in Tamil, but it will be beyond the scope of this video. As R means a sharp point, it is no wonder that the English word arrow also originated from it. We have established that Arachu means bow and arrow. The possessor of Arachu is called Arachu plus Anan, Arachunan, Archuna. Here, Anan is a suffix which means possessor. For example, the rain god Indran is also called Varanan. Var plus Anan, Varanan. Here, Var means elephant and Anan means possessor. Varanan is a possessor of white elephant. Same way, Archunan means the possessor of Arachu, which is bow and arrow. Archunan is also called by another name. That name is Kandipan. What does this title name mean? Kandipam specifically means Archunan's bow and arrow. Kandipan means the possessor of Kandipam. Kandipam is not the general name of a bow and arrow. Only the bow and arrow that belonged to Archunan is called Kandipam. That means only his bow and arrow is special in some way. That means it did something that other bow and arrow did not do. Normally, a bow and arrow would be used in hunting to kill animals. It would also be used to kill enemies in the war. These are the two known uses of bow and arrow. But Archunan creatively used archery for another purpose. We know that Archunan burned thousands of acres of forest land to convert them as agricultural land. How to burn such a vast areas quickly? He chose an elevated vantage point in the forest. He used a fireball as an arrow and shot it as shown here to torch the forest. For effectiveness, he should have shot the fireball in all angles around him, causing a circular fire, which would quickly burn the entire region. Kanam means forest in Tamil, Deepam means fire. Kanam plus Deepam, Kana Deepam, Kandipam. Kandipam means the fire of the forest. As Archunan's arrow torched the forest, his bow and arrow was called Kandipam, which is a nickname with the meaning fire of the forest. As he rescued Draupadi, the farming land, out of forest, using his bow and arrow called Kandipam, Draupadi Swayamvara was designed to happen through archery appropriately in Sanskrit Mahabharata. As the Kartas of Dwapara Yugam, the Pandavas were the delta farmers while being fishermen too. Archuna was shooting the fish in the competition, symbolizing that fact. To retain the historical truth that Draupadi took her birth through fire, there is annual firewalking ceremony in Draupadi temples all over Tamil Nadu. After burning the forest, people should have walked through the fire in order to burn the left-out bushes of the forest and also to clear the residues. This fact should have been retained through the firewalking ceremony. Thus, a secret behind the firewalking ritual followed only in Draupadi temple or Mariamman temple, but not in other temples. One more immense truth is that Draupadi Amman temples are situated only in Tamil Nadu and adjoining regions, and this fact proves invariably that Mahabharata happened only in Tamil Nadu region and not elsewhere. We have been seeing an array of Tamil words which retain history. Now, through the Tamil word Kandipam, we know how Archuna torched the forest 5000 years ago. We are obtaining answers for every one of the puzzles surrounding us. We have now understood the reason for the firewalking ceremony conducted at Draupadi temples. Firewalking is a worthy act which is said to boost one's self-confidence, and it has many other benefits. That is why it is being used to train corporate managers in the West. The firewalking culture should have been copied from Tamils. Kindly visit the site www.firewalking.com to learn the importance of firewalking. Thanks to Dr. Sivakumar who brought this information to me. I request viewers to take part in such rituals in Draupadi temples when it happens. Before ending this video, we shall discuss Ekalaiva. Ekalaiva was belonging to a hunter community who approached Dronachari for learning archery. He declined, saying that he cannot teach him archery as Ekalaiva did not belong to a Kshatriya community. But Ekalaiva took Dronachari as his inspirational guru and mastered archery through his own efforts. On seeing his skill, Dronachari asked him as to how he learnt it to this level, and Ekalaiva replied that Dronachari was his inspirational guru. Dronachari then asked Ekalaiva his right hand thumb as Guru Dakshana, which Ekalaiva readily offers. This character, Ekalaiva, is an imaginary character introduced by the Jewish Brahmins to enforce four-varna concept in Indian society. During Mahabharata, all people were equal by birth and there was no dynastic rule in those times. In fact, Siddhas were the kings in those times, and even Krishna became king only after his Gurukulam education due to his celebrated wisdom. In fact, according to Sanskrit Mahabharata itself,
ராஜாவுக்கு 3 முக்கிய கடமைகள் உண்டு. நாட்டுக்கும் நாட்டு மக்களுக்கும் நீதி வழங்குவது, நாட்டையும் மக்களையும் காப்பது, இந்த கடமைகளை தவறாமல் நிறைவேற்றக்கூடிய இளவரசனை நாட்டுக்கு தருவது ஆகியவைதான் அந்த 3 கடமைகள். இந்த குணங்களை எனக்கு பிறந்த எந்த மகனிடமும் நான் காணவில்லை. ஆகையால் பாரத்வாஜ பூமன்யுவை எனது புத்திரனாக்கி அவனை யுவராஜனாக நியமிக்கிறேன்.
It says indirectly the dynastic rule wasn't there in those times. The Brahmins terribly distorted history, and it was actually Vishnu who is referred to as Bharadan. He was the only Bharadan of ancient Indian subcontinent, and even the Bharadan of Ramayana was a fictional character. It was he who was called Mahabali in Kerala. It was he who was called Bahubali in Karnataka. He was an emperor of South India, or perhaps all of India. He was known all over Asia. His headquarters was Trichy, most probably. He was a Siddha emperor. He became emperor by default due to his enormous wisdom. He discovered gravitation and planetary science. It was he who could predict an eclipse, both solar and lunar, for the first time in the world, and he was also known among the Mayans as Kukulkan. To metaphorically exhibit his planetary knowledge, he was depicted with a chakra on his right hand pointing finger, and the chakra represented the elliptical orbits of the planets. He was thus called Chakrabharadhan, which deformed as Chakrabharadhan, Chakravaradan, Chakravarti. As Vishnu, the Chakravarti, was the greatest emperor, the emperors of the later era were also called Chakravarti after Vishnu, and that's how the word Chakravarti meaning emperor evolved. Vishnu's time was about 3000 years ago, and after Vishnu's times only, the dynastic rule should have started in India. Hence, no one was known as Kshatriya during Mahabharata times. This term is an invention by the Jewish Brahmins who divided society by skin color and called it Varnashrama, as Varna means color. Hence, Ekalevan character was introduced with the ulterior motive to inculcate Varnashrama among masses. Ekalevan got his title name from the only art called archery that he was familiar with. Yeha plus Kalaivan, Yeha Kalaivan, Ekalaivan. Yeham means one, Kalaivan means artist. Ekalaivan means an artist of one trade only.